I'm freaking out about that intro. That was amazing.
Thanks.
All right, we got a brand new, awesome episode of Pink Buzz for y'all. We got a pretty good panel going on, but we have a very, very special guest, a very poetic, amazing guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Anas, why don't you go ahead and tell us a
Thank
little bit about
you.
yourself?
Thank you for having me. Yes, so my name is Anas Abdulhak. I'm a comic book writer and poet, originally from Damascus, Syria. Um, yeah, and you might know me from some works like Etheris, which just came out a few months ago from SourcePoint Press, or my crowdfunded Objects in the Mirror, and my debut Lithuania, and my current book, which is currently funding on Kickstarter, which is called Kill My Boyfriend.
Indeed.
Mhm.
So
It's
this
got
new
the
book, it's going to be quite a bit of a change up for you, huh? Because your subsequent work's been pretty very personally focused and very poetic. So this new book's kind of going to be a little more narrative driven. I take it.
Yes, yeah, it's a big departure for me. I'm trying to like not put myself in any boxes so I don't get typecast. So I thought of like, what's the wildest thing I could do that would completely like help me flex different creative muscles, and that was the who done it for me. And I've got some other stuff I'm working on right now, which is also in like very different directions. I mean, I've got a middle grade graphic novel that I'm pitching right now, so which is like about magical cats, So I'm really diversifying my portfolio here.
yeah, for sure. Like your I remember your first book. You were not shopping around, but you went around social media and you're offering it up on your site. Like you had a link if people wanted to go read it.
It was
You
for
were
free, yeah.
yeah, it was very generous of you. That's how I got your first book. I went and read it there. I backed your second book, Objects in the Mirror.
Thank you.
That was a Zoop. That one was
Mhm.
actually on Zoop. And then your third project, which is the one that came out on SourcePoint Press, is
Yeah.
Ithera's. Yeah, that's a beautiful book.
Thank you.
Yeah, great first. That's your first published through a publisher, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
first time.
beautiful book. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Dennis really like put amazing work in this book, and I cannot sing his praises enough.
so yeah, so like your three first books, I would almost categorize it like, how do you describe it? And I'd describe it as like sequential poetry. Like
Very
that's
much.
pretty much That's how I'd describe it. And like Objects in a Mirror. Like I like reading your back matter, and like a lot of your work like this. I mean, it could come off as being like people like to use the word pretentious and stuff. But if you read like the back matter in your newsletters, you seem like a very down to earth, humble guy who's very thankful and grateful for anyone who reads your stuff. And
oh, absolutely.
and like it comes off a lot. And with your interactions on social media, it definitely shines through that you're really like down to earth. Yeah.
That was a critique that I received a lot from people who picked up Etheris that weren't familiar with me and my work before, because it was such a wide release. So many people picked it up just based off the cover, and so there were some like unkind comments, mocking the writing and calling it pretentious. And I just, I didn't respond to any of that. But like honestly, it's, I come from a place where poetry is very important to me because of like my culture, and Arabic poetry is something very beautiful and very melodic. And all I was trying to do was just incorporate that style of poetry into the English language and make these little poems that could literally work as songs because they're so melodic and they all rhyme. I've never studied poetry. I've never studied English lit. So it's all just coming from a place of like loving the words and the melody of it. That's all I was trying to do. So if it comes off pretentious, I do apologize.
I have to
No.
say, no, and not at all.
I don't think it does, but I know people the way they criticize, like you said, like you've got some comments, and I could just say that it could be further from the truth. Like I think it was very heartfelt, and you could see it came from a place of personal, I don't know, like hardships or just personal experiences.
That's why I do the back matter, and that's why I really like. I had a back matter letter in Etheris, and I like made sure to email 3 times. I think about it, like please make sure that this is included in the book, and it did not end up making it to the book. But we are hopefully getting a second printing very soon, a special edition second printing, because the first printing ran out. So I was like, please, can we include the back matter this time? Because there's like a really nice letter that I wrote when I was in a very bad place, and it was nice for me to read it in the future, looking back at it, just from where I was in the process. So it was I really wanted that letter to be out there.
I feel like so I can pretentiously say that I do have a master's degree and an undergrad in creative writing, and I feel like it was a very approachable way to introduce poetry into the medium. I think it was very approachable poetry. It was the opposite of pretentious, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I think it was really the flow is always really nice. It makes sense. There's nothing like, I don't know. It's just I saw some comments, when it was initially released, and I thought it was like really silly. I'm like, that's like
they got
saying,
to
like,
me.
yeah.
That was like that was a little bit of an ego punch to me. Like, it really humbled me down. And part of it was why I decided to go with Kill My Boyfriend right now. Was like, okay, let me show you what else I can do.
Something even more relatable than
yeah.
For
me personally.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was really interesting. I really liked that it was something completely different. It wasn't just like a lot of stuff you find on Kickstarter on smaller labels, like a cowboy with robot arms, or like a big kitty that kills vampires. You know what I mean? Like, that's like what you see a lot of, like First People's Comics and a lot of stuff coming out from Kickstarter right now. And just to see something like that was so touching and just so personal. You know what I mean? All 3 books actually.
We're not talking Kill My Boyfriend right now, or are we?
I haven't read Kill My Boyfriend. I've only
not out yet.
I was like, wait a minute.
Very touching book. Kill My Boyfriend.
Well, because I read the script, right? So I'm like, I'm heavily invested in it because I loved it. I thought, I was sold on the title alone. I already liked your previous work, but just the title and the typography on the logo, like I'm in. Like, yes, absolutely.
It's fun.
This.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I don't care who did it. Let's do it. Who done it? Let's do it is more like it. But after reading it too, I said, it's really fun. It's really good. It's really solid. That's really cool that this is your next project. It is a big departure from the other stuff, but it's solid. And the art previews we've seen, let me tell you, there's some janky stuff on crowdfunded projects, but the art in this is so good. It's so good.
Tench is unbelievably talented. I'm so happy that people are finally like waking up to her work and giving her more comic book opportunities. And this is going to be her first book ever, actually, like a first full issue. So she's really excited about that. And we work together so well. It's just, she gets it. Like, I don't have to try so hard to like deliver what I want. She just gets it. And I love that about her.
The covers too, they're all, each one outdoes the last one. And it's so fun.
We have a stellar lineup of AFAB and Femme artists who are going to be doing covers for all the next chapters. And I am so excited about some of the names that we got on board.
So how many issues are you planning on this being?
So this is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. Limited series, let's call it, because there's no second arc.
Okay. It's going to be a one and done after the 5? Okay.
So we're doing our very best to like really put stuff a lot of ideas in these 5 issues without making it over bloated, because we do have lots of ideas. We have like little details that we want to add, touches here and there, but I think the core of the story is very linear and very clear. So I think that we're going to be able to deliver something very solid with that.
So what's your elevator pitch for the book? Just wondering, what would you tell people to try?
I've been calling it Do Revenge meets Knives Out. Or like, if somebody hasn't seen Do Revenge because it's very new, I would say like John Tucker Must Die meets Knives Out. If anyone remembers that movie. So just classic revenge meets and whodunits. A little fun, little tongue-in-cheek, and a dash of 60s Americana. For good measure.
Okay, so that kind of explains the font on the logo, because it's very welcoming. It's very kind of vibrant and a little bit psychedelic. So it takes place in the past.
We really wanted to do something with like visually. I had this idea of putting Kim, the main character, in these domestic housewife, nuclear family type roles or positions, but the twist on them is each time she's doing a house chore, and taking care of cleaning up the body. Was this book inspired? But the title was definitely inspired by Kill Your Boyfriend. I love Grant Morrison, and the title was something that I looked into before I chose the title. And I was like, is that too close to Kill My Boyfriend? Like, should I change the name? What do I do here? But I love the title so much, and it's very encapsulating of the book. So yeah, we had to stay with it.
So not only is this book going to have a different, you're playing with a different genre, right? And not only that, but it's not a one shot. This is going to be a 5-issue series. So
Yeah.
how'd you find working on like a 5-part series as opposed to working on a one shot for a change?
My first project ever, my first script work in comics was a mini series, and it was a work for hire gig. It was like the amazing like first experience to get hired to write a story. It was someone else's story, and I just like came in and I brought their world to life. And I think it's very interesting. It's a very different dynamic. It definitely gives me a lot more room for flow, but I also have to like really consider how each chapter, when the beat is gonna stop. And I like to do something with my stories where it's like a roller coaster kind of emotions. So it's not always like back-to-back exposition and like heavy things. I like to give like some moments of levity and lightness between each heavy moment. So I'm trying to do my best to like really incorporate that into the story.
Yeah, I'm anxious to read it to see how you handle like dialogue and character interactions and stuff. Yeah, that's it. So
yeah,
you can ask Elle since she's read the book.
And you know and I'll say this because I love a good end of a page for the end of a book, and like I was like I'm in. The next issue I know it's gonna be good because of how the last page ends, and I was like okay, and it's not like one of those situations either where it's like frustrating or infuriating where it's like a cliffhanger that doesn't feel good. It's like I'm okay with waiting because it's such a fun idea. The whole concept of the book is so fun, and it's like, again, I don't want to say necessarily relatable, but relatable. And some of the circumstances and situations, Kim finds herself in, it's infuriating. It's so maddening because it's something that happens all the time. Circumstances that happen in everyday life.
Absolutely.
But that that fantasy, like that, it's just like, I mean, I've done it.
It's all from experience, trust me.
So yeah, but it's just very fun. I do the aesthetic of the book too, the boat party, all that stuff. Like it's and that's why I was like Kickstarter. I was surprised because it feels like it should be like it's a published book. Like it feels full, it feels final, it feels completed. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to get this like maybe go for a direct market run after we crowdfund the books. But I currently have like 2 mini series that I'm pitching around, and I did not have it in me to like send this out again and wait 3-4 months to hear back on like find out how the project's gonna go. When I cracked this idea, when I had that like eureka moment a few like months ago, I was like, oh my god, I need to put this out there right now. Like this is I want to fast track it. And I immediately texted Tench. I was like, when are you free to start? She was like, okay, I'm free this day. And I was like, perfect, I'll get everything ready. And it's just been like go since then. So I would love to see it under a big, publisher, get a wider audience for it. But the cards weren't. It wasn't written in the cards for us for this book. But hopefully there will be other books that get picked up very soon.
This just went live on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, and you're already at 102 backers, which is pretty good start to the campaign. Johnny, I think people can go hit the link for the campaign in the description.
Yeah, and I'm gonna post it here in the chat right now.
Perfect. So, man, anyone listening, Kill My Boyfriend. It's a new Kickstarter by Anas and Trench, who is the artist working with Anas on this. And just hit Kickstarter this week on Tuesday. So, it's whodunit revenge tale of, it's, I guess, some comedic aspects to it. It looks like a really fun book. So, I mean, go check it out. back it. I mean, from your previous work, I'm almost sure that this is going to be. It should be pretty fun. I mean,
Thank you.
your last book was amazing, and I think from your last book, you see a progression from each time you put something out. So, and now you're changing genres. So, I mean, it's like you said, just adding another
Feather
tool
to my
your-
cap.
yeah, another feather in your hat. Exactly. So,
Thank you. I really hope people connect with the story. It is really a lot of fun. Working on these previous books was hard in a way because it's so personal. So it's kind of like having to find the right words to bare your soul to the whole world or whoever picks up the book in any day or time. So it is kind of like it is cathartic, but at the same time, it's very painful to have to like go through these memories and experiences. For this, it was just the most fun I've had making a comic book. We were just like spitballing ideas and brainstorming and coming up with fun little details, and it was just a ton of fun. So I hope that just like translates to the story.
You guys definitely got the right vibe for it. Anyway, the tone, just from the sample pages and stuff, it definitely gives that vibe. I was just curious, like this will be your what, 4th or 5th comic?
5th, yeah.
5th. So how'd you decide to do comics? Like where does that passion come from? How did you come about it, or what's the story there?
I've been reading comics since I was like very, very young. As soon as I had a good grasp on the English language and I could read and understand, I begged my brother to get me X-Men comics because I was a huge fan of the animated series on Fox and I was a huge fan of the movies. So I've been reading them since then, and I started literally from the beginning, like the 1963 issues and forward. So I've always loved the medium, and I even went to school for film and television because I wanted to like literally make comics and then someday turn them into live action or animated or something. Like I wanted to like explore other mediums. And yeah, it's always been the dream. It's always been the plan to write. And I'm like, it only took me so long to start because I wanted to reach a stage where I was financially able enough to, make these comics. Lithuania putting it out for free, I wouldn't have been able to afford that before then. And I always wanted to put out my first book for free so I can like just reach as much people as possible with it and have them explore my work. And yeah, it's all part of a larger plan. This is just the phase 1 of it.
Okay. Very good. How has the crowdfunding been going? How has your experience been there? I know you've gone on Zoop. You've done one on Zoop, and this will be your first time on Kickstarter?
It is, yeah.
Okay. How does so far? How did the two compare?
So I love Zoop. They were nothing but amazing with me throughout the whole process. They were like holding my hand throughout everything, and they really helped. And I would go back to them, but for this project, because I wanted to pay all the creatives that were working with me like their fair share and have them be fully paid and not have to like reduce their rates just for the book, I was like, I need to take this to Kickstarter because there's a bigger user base there. So like our funding goal is 5,000 euros. That is calculated down to a cent so that everybody gets paid. And I'm not even like considering myself. I'm like, if I get royalties later down the line, or we're not in the red, I'm happy. But as like, I just want everybody paid. So that's why I decided to go with Kickstarter. And I think Kickstarter is definitely more industrialized, I would say, or less personal. Because Zoop is like you're working so closely with the creators of the platform, but here you're just like left to your own devices to work with God who knows who, someone you're not familiar with. But yeah, the bigger user base is definitely helping. I have noticed from like the insights that Kickstarter, like a bunch of people came from Kickstarter to back the book. So like the number one, the biggest percentage of people came from the push email that came from launch, which people who are pre-launch followers. The second was from Kickstarter discovery, and then the third was Twitter. So they're doing better than my Twitter at promoting my own work. So I'm happy with it.
I see that you partnered up with Comics Wellspring to do this. What exactly is the partnership there? What do they help you with?
I have worked with them before for Luthermania. They printed
Okay.
copies, and they put them on their web store so people could buy it from there, and they handled the shipping and packaging and everything. It was really, really sweet deal. And then for Objects in the Mirror, they were also I worked with them. What they're gonna do for Kill My Boyfriend is they print all the comics in house with all the covers and they all the quantities. They have the list. I send them like an Excel sheet of all the information, and they package everything in like perfect good mailers. If you've gotten a physical Objects in the Mirror, you remember their mailer, and they ship it themselves. And all I pay is like 25% per package, which is amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So you that saves you a lot of headaches for when it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to fulfillment. Okay.
Much. I mean, I physically cannot do fulfillment because I'm in another continent,
Yeah.
and like sometimes I order comics, my own comics, and they don't arrive here. Like I don't have Ethereus copies.
Mhm.
I have one Ethereus copy that Dennis sent me with a friend, but there's like 10 comps that were coming from SourcePoint that never made it to me because they were like stuck at customs.
Mm.
So it
Yeah.
would
I
be
see.
really impossible to do that.
So
Which
that
which
becomes
I'm glad that like there are services like this that exist that can help
yeah.
enable creators to do something like this.
So that becomes a huge hurdle for you then.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because of your location. Mm.
I mean, I do feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage, just not being able to go to cons or table at cons or meet people or network or like let my face be known and like show myself and be in part of the community. I feel at a disadvantage because I've been seeing people or like who are my peers, and the opportunities they've been getting exclusively from just attending cons.
Mhm.
It's sometimes I get FOMO, but it is what it is.
Mm.
So, is there a pretty big comic scene out there in Syria?
Back home, we don't really have a comic book scene per se. We do have like children's magazines that have comic book strips, and they're like original stories, or they publish old French comics like Tintin,
Mhm.
those kind of stories. But other than that, I think the biggest thing that's been drawing people to comic books is the MCU and like the superhero movies.
Mhm.
I know quite a few people who are like huge MCU fans, and they try to read some comics online because they love these characters. So it's been growing. But I would say in the Middle East, the biggest comic book scene is in Egypt. They have their own Comic Con in Cairo, and it's a
Okay.
huge deal. Yeah, there are publishers that publish graphic novels in Arabic, and like it's a huge thing in Egypt.
Would that be a possibility for you to go to a con there eventually, or?
Yeah, I think it would be. I could get a visa. I've been to Egypt before. It was amazing, but this was before the war, so I don't know what the
Yeah.
situation is now. But I'm sure I can apply and get a visa.
Yeah. Well, at least you have maybe one or two options that you can,
Yeah.
until you maybe have other opportunities later on. But
I am hoping that next year I'll be able to make it to a con in Europe. I'm applying. I'm literally gonna buy a table, and I'm gonna ask the organizers if they could write me like a letter of recommendation or just like an invitation letter to show it to the visa center, like something like to legitimize it. And who knows? Maybe if the stars align, I'll be able to go to Europe. That would be like a dream come true.
Hell yeah.
Well, keep my fingers crossed for you, man, because
Thank you.
you have some great work to show off, and hopefully in the near future you'll be able to go to a
Thank you.
con and meet your fans and readers of your books.
Please.
Yeah. So yeah, people, go back his book. Help him out, man.
Please,
Go back
please.
it. Make it a success. Yeah. Every little bit helps. Like Yeah.
Even the reward tiers have like really cute names.
Thank you. I worked so hard on those.
I said, what do I want to be today? An accomplice, an accessory?
I give myself such a big pat on the back for coming up with Bury the Lead with the cover where she's burying.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Did I disconnect?
Yeah, you froze a little bit there. Yeah.
Oh no. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Which cover was it?
Angela Wu's.
Angela Wu's cover, yeah. She's burying Ethan in the garden, and the rewards here for that is Bury the Lead.
And I have to say, Ethan, what a spot on name for an Ethan. What a spot on aesthetic for him too. I said as soon as I saw him, I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go
And
ahead
you
and
can
get
even,
that
like-
hole dug.
since you've read the script, Elle, you'll notice that his surname is Steele.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very aptly named as well.
And you know, I've never met a Steele that I had the pleasure of enjoying in my personal life. Family members will get that. So very aptly named.
Yeah, I love the little character on your on the campaign where you have every character with a lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
We're
I
doing
like
those for every character, 3 for each issue, I think. So by issue 3, there'll be the full 9 lineup.
And does it have like a little bio beside it, like kind of?
I think I'm gonna do
Describing
them
the
like literally
character?
line them up in like a like a roll call where like they do when they're calling on witnesses or people,
Okay. Yeah.
and just like have their descriptions underneath.
That's cool.
Even
Those would
with
make
like
them-
Ethan's portrait, even with him like trying to make himself look a little bit more tall. Such a
Very-
punchable. Such a punchable face.
Yeah, because those would make some fun prints too.
Yes, if we make it to a stretch goal, actually, these will be prints included with every physical copy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. I like
So
that.
we're planning. We have tons of ideas for stretch goals. I really want to experiment with different cover types this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we get to a certain threshold, I will upgrade all the physical copies to like a hollow cover or something like that with the logo. It'll be nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Might have to make a bullseye for Ethan's.
Wait, that's a great sticker idea. Thank
Yeah.
you, Elle.
You're welcome. And you know, that's my contribution. You know,
That is perfect. It's very much valued. I will give you credit, honestly. If I go for it, I will literally give you a credit.
Something to throw something at.
Yeah,
So,
even if I make it to cons, I'll do like a printout, like a standee, and it'll be like a knife throwing contest.
Well, you know, maybe like a Nerf gun situation. Maybe not a Nerf.
Sure, yeah, more safe.
You could do it like a competition. They can win prizes the closer they get to the
Yes.
the head.
The closer you get to the head.
Yeah. You were mentioning earlier that X-Men was like your introduction to comics, right? You were watching the animated series before
yeah.
you started to. Yeah, a lot of people their introduction was through that animated series. That was a pretty successful series to get people to
It really
transition
was.
into comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just
who was
like-
your favorite character in the X-Men? Like,
In the X-Men animated series, I'd say probably Jubilee.
Okay.
I was her age when I was watching the show, so it felt very relatable.
okay.
But overall, I'm a huge Kate Pride fan,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
and I love Magic. I love all the X ladies. I just like every single one of them, even Jean Grey to some degree.
Yeah.
She's hard to love, but I love her.
Yeah.
Agree with
Yeah.
you there, man.
Yeah.
It's like
So how-
all the Beast fans out here have to hide nowadays because like people are out for blood with Beast because they hate him so much. So nobody dares to say online that they're a fan of Beast or the X-Men.
Yeah, I haven't kept up. I started the earlier part of the series and where his character was just starting to get that transition,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't kept reading it since then. But yeah, but I've seen posts like you're saying of people.
I mean, he's been doing a lot of really bad things for like a decade now.
Yeah.
I mean, genocide is just the new cherry on top.
Mm, mm.
Did you were you able to get into Evolutions?
Evolution. Yeah, I did watch that actually. Yes, but that one I watched way like when I was older and I had like internet access, so I could like download stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it never. I don't think it ever aired on TV for us
wow.
back in Syria. Yeah.
Because I think I started like Jubilee was my favorite character until Evolutions came out, and then I said, "Oh, it's easily like Rogue and Kitty at the time, Kitty."
Love Rogue.
So
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, "Yeah, this is easy." Like Jubilee.
That
who?
one shot where they're dancing and they do like a reference to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mhm.
That is like perfection.
So you're all caught up in like X-Men stuff right now.
No, I fell off. I fell off
Okay.
comics, honestly. I think sometime around last year, I got so busy with comics, and I was working on several pitches at the time that I just stopped reading for like 2 weeks, and then I got overwhelmed, and it's been snowballing since then.
Yeah.
I did the Swords of X, and there was just too many series to read, man. Like
It really was, and I was picking up like 35 Marvel titles a month. Sorry.
Wow.
So
that's
that was
a lot.
like a lot for me, and plus a plethora of other indies and other books from like my peers and my friends. So it was getting very overwhelming to keep up with everything. Now I read if I absolutely have to, or like I'm hoping to read Dark X-Men because I've been hearing such amazing things about it. But I'm like I'm a year distant now. I have no idea what's been going on the past year other than like some tweets here and there.
I found this generation of X stories really easy to get into a run and then get out without having to go into like grand scheme things, because they always have like those little blurbs in it that kind of catches you up to speed. So I can say I've probably read 2% of this generation of X titles, but I've never been confused about what's going on when I do read. Yeah.
I mean, I tried to like get into the Sabretooth book, and I was very confused. I was like, what is going on? Are they in hell? Is this hell, or is it a prison? It was like they were imprisoned underneath Krakoa in like a mental psychic prison, and somehow Sabretooth became the devil or something. It was very confusing to me. So other than that, I haven't tried to like really get into anything else.
With X-Men, I just pretend like, I feel like if you fake it through, if you act like you know for the first couple issues, it makes sense by the end, and you're like, oh, okay.
You make it, yeah.
Even now, I'm like, do the lot. So, because I saw like they were like, oh, the stakes of Krakoa, like you can't come back or something. Or I don't know, a whole bunch of people died or something. And so in my head, I'm like, well, the last one I read, people were like intentionally dying to come back. So I was just like, okay, so they'll just come back. And people were like, that's not how it works. I'm like, I read one run. I think I know how it works.
I've read X-Men since the 90s. They always come back. Right?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I feel like X-Men is really fun because there's like no stakes. It'll be the most wild death scene, and then in 2 issues, it's gonna be like, we were just rebirths out of this tree, and I'm like, okay, I'm into it. Okay.
They killed Professor X like 3 times in 4 years. You know what I mean? Like
it's literally a soap opera at this point. It's like The Bold and the Beautiful and Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
Wolverine's been to hell and back.
Yep.
You know,
he died and came back, and he had fire claws for a while, and then they just like went away without any explanation.
Him and Ghost Rider having matching motorbikes is the funniest thing to me. Like when I saw there was like a scene in one of those Ghost Rider issues where they had like a race. And it was like all of the characters had themed bikes, and I said, "Is this Marvel Comics? Like this is ridiculous. My sons would love this. Like if they made the actual little cars and stuff." I'm like, "This is ridiculous."
To go with it, to sell the merch, sell toys.
There is the craft reference in Evolution, yes.
Hey Spanky, how's it going? That's Matt, buddy from England, who's on the N Pod. Often go on the N Pod and shoot the shit with them. So nice to see you in the chats, Matt.
You're rebranding soon, right?
Yeah.
I've been seeing the teasers. It looks very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's just tweaking it a little bit.
Is it a name change? Is there going to be a name change?
Yeah, name change, and we're going to be doing more monthly segments. Okay. Where there you go. Yeah, and like one of the things we're going to do is we're trying to get friends of the show to get more involved. So we have Cookie, who's going to be doing one monthly segment called Caged Love, where we pick she picks a Nicolas Cage movie once a month. We watched it, and then we come on, and so it's just going to be Nick Cage movies every month.
That's awesome.
We pick one, So we're trying to get other people kind of come up with an idea, and we'll do an episode once a month. We're going to start going more in depth into runs. Like one of the first ones we'll be touching on is Deadly Class. We're going to go through the whole run of Deadly Class. So we have I have the deluxe editions. So we're going to go through each deluxe edition one a month and really go into depth. And I've been reading through the first deluxe, and I think I'm going to make a soundtrack to accompany it because there's so many little drops of like bands and references. So I think I'll make a little. I've been taking notes as I've been going through to try to make a playlist to match the bands that are dropped in it and stuff. So we're going to have fun with stuff like that. And
that's awesome. I love Rick Remender's work. Very, very solid. I don't think I finished Deadly Class. I think I still have like a few issues left before it ended. But I love that book.
Yeah, it's one of Johnny's favorites. So he's been waiting for a long time for me to start digging into it. So
Johnny, have you read Black Science?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that like my fifth favorite book of his. Like I'm a Rick Remender fiend though, so like yeah, but Black Science is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's I like it because it's a good middle ground between his more playful work and his very dramatic, serious work. So yeah, that's one that I recommend to people usually to get them interested in him.
It's a really good book.
I've been I think I'd only read the first trade of Deadly Class. So now I've reread the first section, so I've gotten past that. So now I'm getting into stuff I haven't read before, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun, and I enjoy Rick Remender's stuff. I read his Uncanny X-Force.
Oh yeah, that was really
pretty cool. That was fun. Yeah, I read a little bit of that. A few of his other books too. I mean,
I love Deadpool's reaction when Phantom X shot Little Kid Apocalypse, man. Even Deadpool looked at him like, dude, you're a dick.
And I know Elle's a fan of his latest book. I think the hardcover's coming out soon. Righteous
Thirst for Vengeance.
Righteous
Thirst for Vengeance, yeah.
It was a masterclass. That was an excellent series.
Your artists just shine, man, because like he's usually pretty wordy, but like in that book, he just let dude just do his deed, man, and man, that art is gorgeous in that book.
Yeah, very much.
And then the coloring too. I love Chris O'Halloran, and so good. It just all worked so good together.
I love seeing like muted books in comics. It's such a unique take. It's because it is a visual medium. It's so nice. This lets a story just go wild with it.
And speaking of artists, is there let's say what would be you're working with Trench now, which you seem to be enjoying the experience quite a bit.
Yeah.
But let's say a dream project where who's an artist or an illustrator you'd love to work with? Like that'd be like at the top of your list, like of dream collaborations.
Yeah, I do have a dream collaboration with Michael and Laura Allred.
Oh damn, hell yes.
Yeah, absolutely adore their work. It will be a dream come true to work with them. Bill Sienkiewicz as well. I would love to work with him. Yeah. You can tell from my style of works why I would gravitate towards these people. But yeah, those are like my idols, and I would love to get a chance to like even get a variant cover by them. I would be oh my god.
I think All Reds would be down. Like they did some art prints for my buddy Jordan Thomas's Kickstarter book. So
yeah, I know they would be down, but it's just like there's no money. Like,
well, you're working towards it. You're working towards it.
Like I keep hearing about these, big name artists and how much they charge for covers, and I'm like, that sounds like it's way out of reach for me right now. Like I would love to be able to put like that kind of money, but unfortunately I'm not able to. But the artists that I have lined up for like Kill My Boyfriend, I am gonna be working with some big name artists that I'm very, very like close with, and I love them very much. And yeah, we will be having some very unique covers very soon.
Well, you're popping up pretty well. I can tell you one thing, like our buddy Ronan here, I know he for sure has backed your book, and he's from Australia. So you're getting recognized all around the world right now. So
yesterday in the space, we were doing a space on Twitter, and Daniel Calban just tweeted that Kill My Boyfriend was trending on Twitter. And I glitched out for like 10 minutes. I just could not speak. I was like, I don't know. I couldn't put it into words. It was the most unbelievable thing. I could never have imagined it happening. But yeah, it was like such a huge, accomplishment, milestone. It just felt really like surreal.
And again, like that reinforces like the idea that the title absolutely had to be Kill My Boyfriend, because it's like, it's to the point and it's honest, Like it's this. What are we reading? Like it's not like some like elusive like murder my Thai, my lover, and it's like no, it's like kill my boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say though, this is like a tiny little spoiler. For some issues of the book, there
Mhm.
will be a variation on the title in some instances where the word boyfriend would be scratched
Interchangeable.
off
Yeah.
and something else would be written in place.
And see, for the way my brain processes things, that also works. So, um,
So there will be kill my something else.
yeah.
So, just letting you know, it's not going to be just the boyfriend who's going to die. It's a murder mystery. There has to be multiple deaths.
So, were you a fan of Clue when you were growing up?
Oh
Did you
my
ever
God.
play that board game?
I literally, I'm getting into it now. I really want to play it. If anybody has Clue, I would be down to playing it virtually. I love that game. I've watched so many videos of people playing it, and it looks so
Mhm.
much fun. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
thinking of getting the
classic.
video game and like convincing my friends to download it with me, just so we can like have that experience.
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't do the board game anymore, but I absolutely like Clue and like the game of life. I always buy it. No matter how many times I've owned it, I always buy the digital versions of them. And I'll just be up like in the middle of the night, like, I know it was you. Like in the middle of the night playing these games, and like my husband
Okay.
doesn't get it. I'll be
Well,
playing like all those
if,
things in the middle of
do
the
you play it on
night.
PlayStation or PC?
I'm sure I can get it on whatever. I just
Okay. No, let me know what platform you have Clue on, and I will definitely get it.
and I'm also like a big advocate of like Switch. Because
Same.
I switch until I pass out most nights. And it's funny because, Ruben from House of Nerd, he hit me up one time and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "You never logged out of Switch yesterday. Like you've been online." And I said, "Well, mind your business. First of all, I forgot people can see when you're online." And yes, I do have 120 hours in for this. Like, mind your business. Go away.
Oh my God, I remember during COVID, when Animal Crossing first came out and
Yes.
everyone was playing all the time, I
Uh-huh.
literally knew the schedules of my online friends. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's 6 p.m. Oh, they're about to log on right
Yes.
Yeah, I never got into that, but there's a lot of people that love like.
It
It's
was like
crazy.
lightning in a
Yeah.
bottle. It came out at the
It was
perfect time.
perfect time,
It
yeah.
captured everyone. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I know I have over 500-600 hours.
yeah. I wonder
I
how
threw
many.
Daunting.
Yeah, I threw in 200 hours in there, and then I was like, "This is unhealthy. I need to stop."
Mhm.
Yeah, I know Mel was a big fan. I wonder how many hours she has in it.
I think about that like when I play but then like I just started a new file on Pioneers of Olive Town on Story of Seasons because I
Oh, yeah.
forgot I bought it, remembered I bought it, and I was like, oh, I only put 10 hours into it the first time I played, and then I was just looking at my time on it a couple days ago. That thing says like 65 hours, and I said, "You're gross." I said, "Go outside." But I'm like, literally, I am outside. I'm running a farm. Like,
This is me. I got into Stardew Valley a month
oh
ago.
my gosh.
And I already
One of
put
my
in like over
favorites.
200 hours,
Yeah.
and then I got burnt out. I was like, I'm not touching this game again. I
Yeah.
cannot.
It's gonna be
an addiction.
cyclical because I have it. I got it on PC when it first came out. I have it
Yeah.
on Mac. I have it on PlayStation. I have it on my Switch. I have it on my phone. Like it's something that I'm like, I'm never playing this game again. Like I'm burnt out, and then like 2 months later, I'm like, well, time to start a new. I have a journal with like all the ingredients and recipes. It's just like I have a problem, and I know it. And it's with those kind of. I love a good management game. It's like so
Yeah.
relaxing to me.
I'm so looking forward to Fae Farm and Palia.
Okay.
Yeah, Fae Farm looks just like Animal Crossing but with fairies, and it looks
Yeah.
so cute. And Palia is like a basically Stardew Valley MMO 3D, and it's free online.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for those.
I even played like recently like Jurassic.
I played that
World
too.
Evolution, yeah.
I played that too.
And those little sneakers, they just be sneaking out of my pins. And I'm like, give me a minute to get some money to pay for electricity again. Stop eating my people.
So they got a Jurassic Park game where you actually like raise the dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
you run the parks.
You run the parks, and you can breed them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the breeding part is like so involved. And so I just keep making the same generic dinosaur because I'm like, I don't feel like searching for prehistoric, I don't know, is it matter? I don't want to say the wrong term there.
So it sounds like you're a pretty avid gamer then.
Oh yeah, I
So-
love video games.
So what are like some of your all-time favorites?
Okay, this is probably not gonna be like the good answer for. Thank you, Reese. Thank you so much for backing. So it's probably not gonna be the gamer answer, but my favorite games are Telltale games,
Yes.
Okay.
or like story-driven, choice-based games. Like I love the Life is Strange series from Don't Nod. That is one of my
Mhm.
favorite game franchises.
Mhm.
It's just very simple gameplay. You follow the story. It's kind of like very cinematic as well. But the choices you make really have an impact on the story, and I love those. I think someday I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna write a choose your own adventure story, and it'll be in comic book format. That'll be really fun. But yeah, like Detroit Become Human. Love that
Mhm.
game. I'm currently playing the Expanse Telltale series, which just came out.
Yeah.
Very, very good. And I'm looking forward to the Star Trek Telltale series.
You get to play as drummer in that Expanse one, right?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
so
fun?
good.
She's my favorite character from the show. So like,
Me too. Me too. And it really explores her character and like backstory, and I love that about the game. But yeah, I'm also currently playing Remnant 2, which is basically Dark Souls with guns, and it's very hard. And I'm looking forward to playing Baldur's Gate when it comes out on PlayStation.
Oh, I have it pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to preload. My only hesitancy was, okay, this is gonna sound, I know, but if I'm gonna spend the money, I need to have all of the customization options that PC gets. And I know sometimes PlayStation, it gets lost in translation, and sometimes the full frontal you get in PC you don't necessarily get. Because on Conan, you could do the breasts on the game on PlayStation, but on PC you could do all pieces of the frontal.
Okay.
And so I'm like, no, if I'm paying $60, $70,
You
I
want
need to see everything. I need to customize every piece. But I feel like it might be because I think on
Well, if Conan gets a
Cyberpunk-
pimple on his ass, you want to see it.
yes, for the amount of money I'm spending, yes. Because I think on Cyberpunk, I can't remember
No, you can in the Cyberpunk. You can edit it.
on PlayStation 5 because I
Yeah.
was a girl character, so I don't know about. I never picked man, so I don't know.
I've played it recently, and I definitely recall choosing what genitals I wanted my
Yeah.
character to
Okay,
have.
cool.
I wonder if they get the physics right for the male characters when they're
They
running.
do.
I've seen
Like-
them things swinging, so
Yeah.
yeah. And I think yeah.
They got the jiggle physics for Link's sack in Tears of the Kingdom. So,
Nice.
This was the first Final Fantasy game where I saw butt cheeks. Final Fantasy 16, and I was so shocked when I played it. When I first played it, when was it? Last month or the month before when it came out?
mhm.
I was like, "What are we doing here?" Like this is, and then I said, "Full on butt cheeks." Like there's sex scenes in there, and I said, "What?
Oh.
They do stuff in these games?" And so like the mature tone is cool, but like I'm ready for like a full on like, cause this last Final Fantasy game was more action based than
Turn based.
yeah. So I'm excited for Baldur's Gate because I
Me
hear
too.
there's like 2 million dialogue.
And there's
boxes and stuff.
1,500 endings.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
1,500 endings. That would take a lifetime just to like get every ending. I can't imagine.
It's
you
almost
have
that
to
time
pay
for
for 'em,
my
or,
kids to
like,
get
do they-
ignored.
Or do they
No,
come-
they're all in the game. It just depends on. It's basically D&D. So your choices are what shape the game and the story. So you could get any number of endings depending on your like the minuscule choices that you make.
I was sold when they were like, you can literally romance anything. And I said, I'm in.
I was really in when I saw all the really annoying gamers with a capital G be very angry on this team chart boards about how gay the game is, and I was like, okay, I'm on board.
But what's wild is like, it's only that way if you play it
If
that
you
way.
romance them,
So it's like, do you need to tell us something? Because
Yeah, exactly. You're going
whenever
to.
my companion's trying to sleep with me, I'm like, stop romancing them.
why,
Yeah.
why do you keep saying, let's go?
Yeah. So I'll get let's bring it back to your Kickstarter because we got to help you sell this thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question. Earlier, you said a couple months ago something came to you and you just had to tell the story. I was wondering what exactly kind of that epiphany was, and like which character kind of was speaking to you from early on.
And
Yeah,
legally, can you say?
Yes, I can say.
It's a threat.
I've always wanted to do a whodunit, but I just didn't want. I mean, the whole genre is very based on tropes, right? You have like the classic get together, the party, and like somebody goes missing and then they die. And I knew that I was gonna have those tropes in the story, but I wanted that unique twist. And it wasn't until I figured out like make it a whodunit, like reveal who the killer is, reveal who the victim is from the get go, and let everything else be revealed through the story of like, are they going to get away with it? How did they do it, and why? So those are the elements. Like when it clicked with me, that was like eureka, and I needed to write this down. And I also came up with a very interesting twist for like the later half of the story to keep things interesting and spice them up. So yeah, I think legally I can't speak on this yet, but there will be lots of twists and turns along the way.
And what's your schedule like for scheduling for the issues? Like, how much time will there be in between the issues? Have you worked that out yet, or are you just trying to get this one funded and you'll take it from there? Or
I'm feeling it out still, but my ultimate my hope, my dream scenario is as soon as this book funds, before the campaign even ends, I'm gonna give Tench the go ahead to start production on the art. The script is ready. So she'll get started on it right away. We'll have it done around November, hopefully. And then I will send out the digital copies to the backers with the pre-launch link for issue 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the dream scenario. I want to like keep the momentum going, and as soon as I send out the book, I want to have the pre-launch for the next one coming, and I want covers to be commissioned already.
So about 2 to 3 months between issues, roughly. Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's a good turnaround.
I'm hoping we can stick to that schedule. It all depends on like a number of other projects.
Yeah.
But that would be like my ultimate scenario, and I really want to get the book done by like mid 2024, so that I can start shopping it around for publishers to get a direct market print sent out.
And what's the progress on issue 1? How far are you guys along on that?
We literally like only did what was shown. Everything you've seen is what we've accomplished because that was all coming out of pocket, and that's what I could create so far. Yeah, but everyone is on hold, and they're ready, and they can't wait to get into the work. And Tench is really really fast with the pages, so I feel confident we can make that happen.
So Tench, if people want to go check out her work, you can go find her on
Twitter and Instagram and every other platform under the blue sky at Tench_art.
There you go. So you can go check out her work if you want to see more of it to get a feel for the type of work. And I dig her work. I went and checked her out on Twitter, or should I say? I don't know. I can't even say it. I can't even say it on Twitter. So yeah, and I really dug her stuff. Like, so I'm looking forward to seeing more. And that action sequence, the one page there with the where the deed happens, like that's a great little
As soon as I saw her work on the story she did with Michelle for SWAT Cow, I was like, I need to work with this artist. There's a really fun story in there called Iron Deficiency by Michelle Abinator, who was the editor on Kill My Boyfriend, and Tench. So Michelle introduced me to Tench, and that's how I got to know her and work with her. Because I was like, these pages are incredible. I need to work with this person.
Awesome. Yeah. So we touched on because right now, what do we say? You're about 8 hours away. So like we said, it's getting pretty early in the morning for you there. And so I don't know if there is more stuff you wanted to plug or shout out aside from your Kickstarter. Is there anything
that's all I've got going on right now?
Okay. I was just asking because sometimes people have like a Patreon or other things like that they can plug while to help out. So yeah, so go follow. Yeah, you're on both Twitter and Instagram as well, so people can follow you there.
And that's
as
my
well.
handle right under my face.
Yeah, so go follow there. Go back the book.
Please.
Yeah. So I know you had a bunch of bullet points, Elle. Did you have anything else you needed to touch on?
Bullet points.
Yeah, you came prepared. You did your homework.
I even sent the link on time to.
Yeah, that's why I got on late too, because I finished work, right? And I'm there, and I'm like, oh, I thought I'd be the last one in. So then I'm like, Elle's talking about her kids getting jobs at Burger King, and they were crying that they didn't want to work. And I was like, what? Did you send the link? And she's like, yeah, for sure, I did.
It wasn't me forcing them to get jobs.
Yeah, they're 6, by the way.
They're 5 and 6. Like they volunteered to get jobs so they can get free burgers.
What? Are they allowed to do that?
No.
No, but we ended up taking them there, and we got them the crowns, and they said they weren't ready to work once we got there. And then they were talking to each other in the back, and they were like, "You look like a manager." I'm like, "Why do you guys know these terms? You look like a manager." But yeah, they're not actually ready to work. They just like the idea of it.
Yeah, till it comes
of free burgers.
Reality,
of the conversation.
They'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I think we touched on everything. I think again, Kill My Boyfriend. It is what it is, in the best way possible. And even in context, like once, because the page with the action on it that you showed, like I read the script, so I know what it is in context, and it might not be violent enough. She's like such a great relatable character too, and so I feel like all the characters in the book, actually, I feel like they all hold a place in our lives, whether
yes,
outright or not.
I've worked with every single one of those people. That's the thing. Like every one of her coworkers is based on somebody I've actually worked with. And I was like, how can I turn their personalities up to 11 and just like have them in the book? So like those little character descriptions we have under each mugshot, like the douche, the observer, there was like the archetypes that I was going for. I was like, okay, we need the flirt, and we need the enigma, like person who once in a while will drop like a piece of information that will absolutely shatter your perception of them. But it will be completely casual, and they just don't share anything about themselves at all. So like all these little archetypes, I just played them out, and I dialed it up to 11, and I made them into characters.
Which is really cool too, because just like me being a pseudo writer too on the side, it was like you're introduced to a lot of people up front with a lot of names, and sometimes people are introduced that don't necessarily need to be. But within this one issue, it's all like connected, and it's all so well laid out that there is investment in each and every one of them, and they all feel important to the story too.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad you said that. You were like one of the first people who wasn't very like my bestie who read the script. So I trust I trust your input, and they're not like
I do not know this man, internet. I do not know this person. I've never met them before. I just followed them on Twitter today. I'm just kidding. No, it was excellent. I'm very excited for you, because I'm excited for you because I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited for you.
It's gonna look so good with the art, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it's perfect choice too. Again, with the art and the coloring, it just plays so well together.
Thank you.
It's very fun, and it kind of reminds me of like, I guess more recently would be like Love Everlasting, like just playing with those tropes of classic love stories. Gone terribly wrong or terribly right, depending on whose side you're on.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's very, very cool.
I have one last question. Are you gonna work any of your wonderful poetry into this book by any chance? Is there
no poetry in this one? But I'm actually thinking about putting out a chapbook soon of like some collected poems, because I have like a lot lying around. And maybe they'll end up in comics one day, maybe not. But I would love to get those poems out there.
There is poetic justice And
There's one. Yes. That's perfect. Yes. I'm gonna steal that too. Oh my god, Elle. What are you doing later? I need more ideas.
writing some more one-liners.
Just is your first book still available for free through the link on your
It is-
site, or
It is not, but it's available for free on Global Comics, and so is
okay, yeah,
Yeah. and so is Objects in the Mirror and Etheris.
Etheris, yeah. So Global
All of our
Comics
Global Comics.
with an X.
Yeah.
You can go sign up. That's like a kind of similar to Comixology, right? The same
Mhm.
idea. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go
But they are-
subscribe and
like
Yeah.
planning big things. Like I heard that they're doing a print on demand soon, so that's pretty cool.
oh, okay, nice. And it's not through. That's awesome because Amazon does it, but Amazon
Yeah.
is evil. So it'd be nice to have another option for a place to do print
Right?
on demand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I'd like
and
to-
they sign deals with some pretty decent publishers too. Like
Yeah, and they recently closed their investment round too, and they made like big bank. So
nice.
they're expanding. Yeah,
That's good.
I'd like to
it's
see.
good to have diversity in the space of digital comics. We need competition. We need people to like one up each other all the time and like try to like
Mhm.
really
Make it
keep
grow.
make it grow.
Yeah, Johnny.
Oh, I just was going to say I'm interested to see how this comes out in print on demand, just because of how wonderful the work in the grayscale is, and that's how you can really tell like how good of a printer is by seeing how the comes out.
From what I've heard, like the printing was really, really great on Eleuthromania. I had no complaints. It was my first time even doing like a physical print file. You know, I never did pre-press before, so I really was like worried about how the CMYK was going to affect things. But it all turned out really, really great. Thankfully, so I've even heard some complaints about like the Etheris pages being too dark sometimes and deleting some of the details, which was not the issue with Eleuthromania. So we're gonna get really high quality pages from Kill My Boyfriend with Comics Wellspring.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, that's the Kickstarter is running right now. We're what 2-3 days in.
Yeah.
Kill My Boyfriend is the title. You can go back that now. It's live now on Kickstarter and will be for the next 27 days. So go back this book, help get it funded, and help some revenge.
Yeah.
Help
Justice going.
help get some poetic justice going. Yeah, make it a reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the link in the description, and it's also in the chat a couple times. So
Yeah.
So, man, I just want to say thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for
I
having
was-
me.
Yeah.
I've been really looking forward to this, so I'm really glad we got a chance to do it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I remember the first time we interacted on Twitter, and it was you're a pleasant person to interact with. And so when Elle approached, sent a DM saying you were looking to come on the show, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it, man. It should be fun. So yeah, and
I'm really glad. Thank you so much for having me. Truly, it's a blast.
so any last comments, guys?
yeah, we will be back tomorrow afternoon. It'll be even earlier. We're going to be talking to Senior Dave Cook from
Oh
England
yes.
of Beatdowns Per Minute and Killtopia fame. Big fan of his. First time he's going to be on the show. We're really excited. So we hope to see you guys all there tomorrow. Elle, you got anything coming up, yo?
August 27th at 11 a.m. is Pacific, right? 11 Pacific time?
Okay. I was like, really?
Yeah, 11, yeah, yes.
I was like, whoa, now we're going to see some fucking fireworks.
No, at 11 a.m. Pacific, we're doing for one night only The Breakfast Club with Cookie
Oh.
leading the discussion. And then I think I'm actually doing Han that same morning as well. But anybody who wants to come on is welcome because nobody's on that day. It's literally me and then me back to back on Sunday morning. So
yeah. So it's going to be a brunch episode where everyone's welcome to eat breakfast while we're recording.
or mimosa.
I don't know how that'll work. I don't know if you'll hear a lot of like noises from people eating, but I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be a good like ambient sound, lo-fi.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
they're
people are into that, right? When they like
Right?
the
Yeah.
chewing and the slurping and all that stuff. Yeah. So
ASMR.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
and,
Exactly.
just let us know in chat if it gets too much. We can mute them.
Yeah.
Because I know me, I have a like a sensory thing, and when I hear people's jaws click, oh, it drives me crazy when they
Nobody
eat.
gets cereal.
Captain Crunch,
Yeah.
especially. That's
Yeah.
Soft foods only.
Yeah. Right. Nothing too wet either.
So thanks again, everyone. Go back, kill my boyfriend, and have a great weekend, everybody. Man, thanks for listening.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for having me. Oh, you're